So if we were to just look at the position of the pancreas, then that's best done with all of the vast majority of the organs removed. So what we can see is that the large intestines, which would be here and here, have been removed. The small intestine, except the duodenum, which is positioned here, has been removed. And that really gives us a clear window onto the floor of the abdominal cavity, onto the kind of posterior wall of the abdominal cavity, where we can just make out the pancreas. The stomach's been removed as well. We can see the pancreas would be in this position, straddling, lying over the L1-2 lumbar vertebra. We can see where the stomach would be. That's got an opening here for the esophagus that's passing through the diaphragm, and these would be connected up in this kind of arrangement where we'd have the stomach shielding the pancreas. So the pancreas is a retroperitoneal organ, except for the tail that passes to the hilum of the spleen within what's known as the spleno-renal ligament. The tail of the pancreas passes to the spleen with the spleno-renal ligament that contains the splenic artery and splenic vein. The root of the transverse mesocolon originates, and we can see the cut edge of the transverse mesocolon here. So that is the root of the transverse mesocolon, and it forms the posterior boundary of the omental bursa. Posterior boundary of the omental bursa. Here we've added a few more organs, a few more detail. We can see we have the left kidney, which is here, and here we can see the right kidney. We've also got the duodenum, and we've added in some important blood vessels. Coming from the aorta, we've added in the superior mesenteric artery, and here's the inferior vena cava. But importantly, here is the hepatic portal vein, and here we can see the superior mesenteric vein. And we'll look at the formation of the portal vein later on. But down here we can see the posterior view. So this again is if you're looking at the duodenum and the pancreas through my posterior abdominal wall, then you can see that we have the C-shaped duodenum, head of the pancreas, and running posterior to the neck of the pancreas being this kind of region, running posterior to the neck of the pancreas, we have these two blood vessels, superior mesenteric artery and superior mesenteric vein. We can actually see their intimate relationship really clearly. If we look here, we can see we have what's known as the uncinate process of the pancreas, and that is lying kind of inframedially running away from the head. We can see we have the horizontal and the ascending part of the duodenum. Now, importantly, these two blood vessels, the superior mesenteric blood vessels, are lying anterior to the uncinate process and to the horizontal part of the duodenum. These two superior mesenteric blood vessels are lying anterior to the uncinate process and the horizontal part of the duodenum. But they then run posterior, both of them run posterior to the neck of the duodenum. So if you imagine this is our pancreas here, and we've got the uncinate process, and we have the head of the pancreas here, we've got the neck and the body and the tail, and we've got two superior mesenteric vessels. It's running up in this direction, anterior to the uncinate process and then posterior to the neck. And that's hopefully what we can see in this diagram. The posterior view shows that well. Where we can't see the superior mesenteric vessels here, the posterior view, we can see them here. Also, we can see the superior mesenteric vein is actually receiving the splenic vein here. So at the neck of the pancreas, deep to the neck of the pancreas, we have the formation of the hepatic portal vein. Here we have the superior mesenteric vein, here we have the splenic vein, and where these two unite, we then have the hepatic portal vein that's running up towards the liver. If we look at the tail of the pancreas over here, then we could draw in what would be the spleen. That would be in this position around here, not included in this cartoon. And actually running towards the hilum of the spleen, we'd find the spleno-renal ligament. So the pancreas, within its relations to the other organs, and especially those blood vessels.